All right, there. Let me see. Greetings, there, beloved. I am going to go ahead and get started because I know this was an impromptu type of of live stream that I didn't permit. Let me see. Make sure I'm going through. Let's see. Yeah, I should be going through right now. I'm waiting for it. There we go. There we go. All right. I was waiting. I was like, why? Why is it taking so long for it to broadcast? But let me make sure everything's sounding right. Hold on a second. But let me make sure everything. Okay, there we go. All right. Wow, that took forever to get through. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started because this was not announced, and so I found this article to be very interesting, and so I decided to do a video on it because I want to keep this channel very active. So let's go ahead and get right into it. This seems to be a big thing with dementia. So I wanted to talk about an article and give some of my insights on this article because I found it to be very informative and very fascinating. And so here it is right here, the 6 ways to reduce your risk of dementia, according to a new report. Now, because it got so many ads on here, I decided to archive it. So I'm going to go over each one. And then I'll look in the chat to see if anybody has any, hey, Dark Star, what's up, girl? I'm going to see if anybody have any questions. So here we go. All right. So once again, this is the 6 ways to reduce your risk of dementia. So the World Health Organization, also known as WHO, estimated that around 50 million people worldwide have dementia. Dementia is a condition characterized by difficulty with memory, thinking, and doing everyday activities. As for its causes, Alzheimer's disease is one of the most common causes of dementia and is the leading cause of death in the U.S. I should have fact-checked them on that. No, that's not true. I have to fact-check them on that one. This is not true. It is not the leading cause of death. It may be one of the top 5, but I don't think it's the leading. I should have fact-checked these people beforehand, but no, for it to say that it's the leading, no. Okay, so let's get down to it. All right, so in the next 30 years, the number of people with dementia is expected to triple, said WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom. I'm not going to pronounce all these names. I don't even know who this person is. I tried it with your first name. I was being generous with the second name, but I just gave up on the third name. So this is a PhD doctor who works for the WHO. I think the director. And he says, we need to do everything we can to reduce the risk of dementia. So today, the WHO released new guidelines to provide specific steps to reducing the risk of cognitive decline. And while dementia most commonly affect older people, the WHO points out that it is not a normal part of aging. And this is when I say, got to talk about this, because people think that when you get old, you're supposed to just sit down, rock in your rocking chair, and talk about back in my day. And I'm like, when? Who the hell told you guys that? Stop thinking that getting older is a death sentence. Yes, you're closer to leaving this earth, but to say that you're going to decay in my opinion, humiliating way of not knowing who you are, not being able to use your bodily functions, according to your own will. That's just crazy. So it's like, nah, I have no intentions on doing that. I'm going to be very active, still exercising, still doing my thing, still bounce chicka wow wow in, and I'm gonna still do me. You know what I'm saying? I don't see that as a way of me just letting go of all of the things that kept me healthy during my youth. And I don't want you all to think that either. I hear people say, man, when I get 80, I don't care if I die. I done lived my life. What? Why would you say something so horrid like that? Dude, I mean, people don't even see themselves obtaining 100 years, and that's a problem. And I believe it's a problem because you really don't take good care of yourself now. You know what I'm saying? So you're just like, you kind of like confirming that you're not even going to be here. So let's start off with the first thing. That, oh, let me finish reading here. I didn't finish what it says. This is not part of aging, and there are many lifestyle changes we can make earlier on to reduce our risk of dementia. So number one is getting regular exercise. Now, I read these already, and I'm going to laugh at one of the things they say here is like, are you serious, really? So let's get in there. Number one is getting regular exercise. Research suggests that exercising can boost cognitive functioning by increasing brain-derived neurotrophic factors, also known as BDNF. BDNF is a group of proteins that support the healthy functions of neurons involved in things like memory and learning. Exercise can include anything from, here's the funny part, really? Exercise can include anything from getting up a few times a day. In what universe? No. I'm not going to give this a pass as saying getting out of bed is a form of exercise. You have lost your mind if you think I'm going to give you that pass by saying, by the way, if you get out of bed and you get back in it and get out of bed 5 hours later and get back in it, you have done a good exercise routine. Lies. Okay. So to work around the block, that is exercising. Actually, I remember the most heaviest client I have ever had to help reduce weight. One of the challenges that we have to deal, because you have to understand, like when you are like 500 or 600 pounds overweight, you really, it's a miracle that you can get out of bed. But if you can get out of bed and you're not bedridden, one of the things I would do with this young lady was to do mailboxes. So the challenge was, because understand and listen, that's a lot of weight they're carrying around. That in itself is going to pump the heart up, and you can't put a heavy regimen on people like this who have basically never exercised a day in their life or have done a very half-hearted job. So what I would do with this young lady is, first thing we'd do is we will walk from her doorstep to her mailbox and then back to her doorstep. Now, being that she was well over 500 pounds, okay, you all think that that was nothing. For her, that was a lot, and it was a lot. Remember, try to, seriously, if you think that was hard, if you think that wasn't hard, I want you to put 500 pounds of rice on your body and see how you can make it to the mailbox and back. Now, what happened was she made it to the mailbox, but we had to stand there and let her take her breath before she could make it back to her doorstep. And even then, we had to stop halfway there to let her rest. Okay. Now, also, I had to make sure I had her 2 uncles and myself with her just in case she passed out. But she did really well. She was able to do it, and then, we rest, and then we tried again the next day. So, and what we did was, the goal was to get her to walk back and forth from her mailbox without resting. And as she began to lose the weight, her stamina began to increase. And therefore, the goal was to get her to walk back and forth from her mailbox from a doorstep 5 times. And then we would go to other mailboxes. Because before, I was going to put her outside of her comfort zone, which was her front yard, to go and walk to another person's mailbox and then back to hers again, you know what I'm saying? And then do the 5 times. We had to make sure that she had her stamina. So that's how you work it. So these things they may seem minor to you all, but walking around the block is a great achievement if you're not an exerciser. So if you're not a person who likes to exercise. So therefore, I always give people a gold star if you try it around the block. But the thing about it is that you have to gradually move up. You have to gradually move up, okay? So if you're walking around the block, then you move up to walking around the block 3 times and then 4 times. And then you start like, how about that mile walk? Okay, so then you do that. And of course, this is more my level speed of participating in high intensity interval training. I love this. High intensity interval training is really good. I really like it. It's one of those things that you can really do if you're not limited for time. Either way, even if you're just walking for an hour, this is good exercise because you're moving, you're activating your circulatory system, and this also reduces your chances of getting Alzheimer's or dementia. All right, number 2 is a given, not smoking. Okay, it's I don't know why people smoke. All right, I don't know, and this goes for your marijuana, okay? For you, like, well, what about the devil's? What do you call it? The devil's lettuce? Yeah, that too. I'm just not a fan of smoking anything. That's just me, but there's some science to back it up. It's not surprising that smoking cigarettes is on this list, as research suggests that smoking may increase the risk of Alzheimer's disease and other types of dementia. And these are facts. Smoking is a nasty habit. It's stank. It's terrible. It's awful. I just don't do it, beloved. Just don't do it. Okay. Now here's one that's going to test out a lot of ladies. This is going to test out a lot of ladies. Avoiding heavy alcohol consumption. Now, I know what you all are saying. Oh, but a little bit of glass of, wine is not bad. Y'all know y'all don't do 1 glass of wine. Who y'all lying to? Huh? Because I'm not buying it. No. Here's the thing. And I want you to understand this. You're going to have to get to a point of your life where you're going to have to understand that drinking is just not good for your body if you don't live a healthy lifestyle, especially if you're not a water drinker. Believe it or not, you all, like when I was in Germany, oh my God, I was so tired of, it's just such a custom there to drink. That's why they age so bad over there in Germany. And I was so put off from drinking that once I got to America, I was like, I'm done. No more drinking. As of today, I have not had not 1 sip of wine, not 1 alcoholic beverage since I've been back since 2016. I haven't had one. So we're saying, wow, we're going on what? How many years now? Okay, 3 years. I haven't had a drink, and that's because I was so I got tired of. It was such accustomed to have wine with this, wine with that. And then they got so many beers over there. It's just part of their culture that I hate beer. Beer is so nasty. But they have type of beers for people like me who don't even like it. And it's kind of like a sweet beer. And I'm like, dude. So I'm so glad that I am now in a point of my life where I don't consume alcoholic beverages. And so this is going to make you, and I also keep in mind that I like to stay sober. So that can also help as well. While some research points out that light alcohol consumption may actively prevent cognitive decline, studies also suggest that alcohol use disorders, meaning issues with limiting drinking, is associated with a higher risk of dementia and partially early onset of dementia. The WHO refers to this recommendation as avoiding harmful use of alcohol. So it's worth thinking about how to consume alcohol and making appropriate changes. Now let me add something to this. Say for instance, you're like, well, Dr. Akilah, I go through a whole year of not drinking, and on my wedding anniversary or on my birthday, I mean, what's wrong with a little champagne? Nothing if you hydrate afterwards. Do y'all remember? Let me see. Look at my chat for a second. Sapphire, I don't even know if you remember this, because you used to know me in the back in the day when I used to teach about how to keep yourself hydrated. But I used to teach a lot of secrets to the ladies and men who like to partake in the liquid spirits. And I would say for every glass of wine or for every beer you drink, you have to, by the end of that day or by the end of that night, must drink at least 16 ounces of water for every drink you had in order to replace all of the waters that your body has dehydrated from based upon alcohol. Listen, when you put alcohol on your skin, does it moisturize it or does it dry it out? It dries it out. It doesn't moisturize it. So what do you think happens when you consume alcoholic beverages? Well, that too dries out your internal organs, especially your liver. And not only that, but it ages you. And if you vain ladies love to look young, I suggest you don't deal with the alcohol. Now, a lot of people are like, well, I don't do that much, but I'll drink one glass. I rarely see somebody who say they drink one glass and they really stick to the one glass. Maybe that one glass every day and it's a big old glass. But I never seen it, but I'm not going to advocate the consumption of alcohol. And I think that's the reason why people don't really get into this type of lifestyle. They're like, it's no fun. All right, number 4, controlling weight. Well, maintaining a healthy weight is essential for a variety of health outcomes. Research suggests that people with a higher BMI are at a higher risk of developing dementia than those who are not overweight. Things like regular exercise, eating a healthy diet, and reducing stress may help people maintain a healthy weight. These are facts. Okay. Now, my dearly departed grandmother had dementia. Okay, and that was a sad thing for me to see her not remember who I am and constantly ask me my name, ask me who am I, and she just had this fear on her face when she would just go to her backyard, to her garden, and then she had this horror look on her face like, where am I? Like she was in a strange area. And it was just very heartbreaking to see my grandmother go through that. But the thing about it is my grandmother was always overweight. And when she got Alzheimer's, her appetite also lessened. Now, let me tell you what happened. It was a canceling out thing. Like, okay, she's losing the weight because she's forgetting to eat. And my aunt, which was her daughter, would always have to remind her to eat or always feed her. Okay. But then she got to the point where she just wasn't hungry anymore. And she lost a lot of weight. Now, what happened? The dementia actually began to slow down. She still would forget our names and she still would have those memory lapses where she will walk someplace and we will always keep an eye on her. We would never let her go in the front yard. She was allowed to do anything she wanted in the backyard because that backyard was fenced in. It was hard for her to get over that fence. Nobody could get over that fence really. And dementia really began to sustain and kept her. It was not advancing. And then after a while it started to advance. Now, a lot of times I always ask myself, I went up like, how did my grandmama get Alzheimer's? And of course there's a lot of, she never smoked. She did like her little whiskey, you know what I'm saying? She did like that. She was overweight, didn't exercise, but also a lot of things that back then in the day that they always cooked with aluminum pans. Y'all remember that? Back into the, like our parents and grandparents, they didn't have the type of pans they have now is just ridiculous. But like if you're going to have cookware, You should use glass cookware or ceramic cookware. You shouldn't use the cookware that has the I know that's going to really make you guys angry for me to say that, to don't use the non-stickware. But you have no idea is what's going on is the chemicals that they use in those type of cooking utensils, those cooking those pots and those pans. They actually, I need to do a video on this because I'm not explaining it correctly, because those chemicals actually seep into your and are cooked into your food. Okay, the same thing with the metals, with all of that aluminum and aluminum foil. And I remember, like, my grandmama used to love to cook stuff in aluminum foil all the time, wrap food in aluminum foil. So you have all that aluminum pans and aluminum pots and all of them, those type of metal type of cookware. Those metals seep into your food and then they deposit into your brain. And unless you do those things to get to detox those out, they will have an effect on your memory. Okay, so the number 5, and we're almost done, eating a healthy diet. The WHO recommends eating a healthier diet, and particularly points to the Mediterranean diet as a promising guideline for reducing the risk of cognitive decline. Research has found that the Mediterranean diet may reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease and depression, as well as boost mood and brain health. It helps that the Mediterranean diet is less restrictive than many poor diets and still allow you to eat some delicious foods that just happens to be anti-inflammatory. Now I'm vegan, guys, but let me just tell you what I think about the Mediterranean diet. I love it, actually. Why? Now, a lot of people are saying, like, well, it's got meat in it. Well, if you're a vegan, don't worry about it. You didn't got to worry about it, right? But here's the thing. This is the pyramid. Now, of course, I'm not down with the wine. Please understand it. Not down with the wine. But I don't know why they put that in here. And I probably need to redo this myself and have my own version on here and like get rid of that wine version. But they have that water here. So as you see at the bottom here, I kind of like what they did. Let me make sure you guys can see that on your side. Okay, you can. You see down here where they have be physically active. So if you notice people in Greece, they do a lot of dancing. They do a lot of walking. They do a lot of riding their bicycles. They're not staying stationary behind a computer monitor. Okay, they're very active and they eat together. We stop eating together as a culture, as people. And that needs to stop. We need to start eating food together. So if you see here, this is a lot of healthy food. This is like a vegan diet, or vegan diet actually right here. So you have your olive oils or any kind of omega oils. You can have also cashew oil. No, not cashew oil. Yeah, you can, but what is that? Macadamia nut oil. There you go. I love macadamia nut oil. You have your vegetables, you have your fruits, you have your nuts, and you have your seeds. Of course, you have your garlic. Can't have Mediterranean food without garlic. Now, here is where, of course, the vegans are going to have a problem with it, but I don't have a problem with this. If you do the kind of fish, I'm not really for the shrimp and the scavenger fish. I'm not going to be on that side of it. Expect to see a video of me talking about foods that are high in sodium, and shrimp, although tasty, are naturally high in sodium, and so therefore you have to watch out for that. I am all for if you're going to eat fish, then you need to eat fish, not tilapia, but salmon that's fresh caught. And if you don't know if you're getting fish that are fresh caught, then talk to the bakery. The butcher, did I say bakery? The butcher, and he will let you know, he or she will let you know if this is wild caught or farm raised. Stay away from farm raised fish. Stay away. You can do mackerel, trout, snapper. There's a long list. All you have to do is go Google a list of foods that are basically, a list of fish that are deep water fin fish. That's what you're looking for, fin fish, non-scavenger fish. So don't look for catfish to be on there. Stay away from catfish. That's a doo-doo fish. Okay, now above that are your cheeses, your yogurt, your eggs, and then the poultry. Now, notice how that's used in extreme moderate portions. All right. So the cheese is mucus forming. Okay. We already know that. Okay. We already know what's going on with the eggs. And I mean, I think the only thing on here that I would probably not really have a problem with are yeah, I mean, if the eggs are organic, or shall I say, they're not from if they're free range organic eggs and they're fed vegetarian feed, sure, but you can't do them a lot. And yogurt, believe it or not, I'm okay with it if long as it's Greek yogurt and not that yogurt that is infused with the fruit, because that fruit is also full of the high fructose corn syrup. Yes, Sapphira, hormone-free eggs. Thank you. I just went blank there for a second. So your hormone-free eggs, and you're going to do that as well. So hormone-free eggs, a hormone-free chicken. I would say that Greek yogurt, and you just add your own type of additives to it. Like if you want a Greek yogurt and you want something crunchy in it, then you can add granola to it. If you want it to be sweet, then you add your natural honey to it. Things like that. I would say that you can just really crunch up fruit and just add that to it. And of course, at the top of the list, which you use sparingly, all right, are sweets. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's because I really overdo it, but I'm not saying that in a bad way, because I don't think you can really overdo acidophilus. But I don't really have any taste for sweets. I was at the grocery store yesterday or the day before yesterday, I can't remember. And they had a sale. They had a sale on chocolate muffins. And I used to love excuse me, let me be more specific. Chocolate chip chocolate muffins. And I used to love this stuff a lot. I mean a lot. And for some reason, I picked it up, put it in my buggy, and then I looked at it and I go, I don't want that. I just didn't have a desire for it. I didn't feel excited about it. And so I took it out and put it up. I probably eat, at this moment right now, I probably eat sweets once every other week. Once every other week. Okay? And you know what the sweets are? Pancakes. Once every other week, I make some pancakes and I put carob chocolate chip pieces in it, and then I cook it. I cook it. Yeah, I do cook it like that. And I'm like, that's just once a week where I just feel like it. But as of now, I just don't have the taste for the sweets anymore. So this is what your Mediterranean diet consists of. And if you're not going to do a vegan diet, if you're not going to do a vegetarian diet, then I would say basically, then go for the Mediterranean diet. Don't really get into this stupid carnivore diet or whatever. So just do that. Okay. All right. And last but not least, maintaining healthy blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar levels. Meaning that if you suffer from high blood pressure, if you suffer from high cholesterol, if you suffer from diabetes, you need to change your diet right now. Research has found that high blood sugar levels are associated with increased risk of developing dementia, and increased blood pressure is known to affect the brain health, and this is true, negatively, and put older adults at risk of dementia. Studies have also found an association between high cholesterol and an increased risk of dementia. eating a more plant-based diet, avoiding processed foods, and eating foods high in omega-3 fatty acids are just a few ways you work towards healthier blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar. Okay, which means it's a healthier way of reversing high blood pressure, reversing high cholesterol, and reversing diabetes. Okay, reversing. And when you do these things, these things will help you very, very much. So there you have it there, beloved. That is those 6 easy steps to reduce your risk of dementia. So I know I said I wasn't going to do a Q&A, and I meant it. I kept my word. But in order to keep this channel active, instead of doing a standalone video, I decided to do a live stream instead. And plus, it gives me a good excuse to see you lovely ladies in the first place. So without further ado, I will be uploading. I'm going to go ahead and log off. I will be uploading a video on, let me see, I'm working on it right now, and it's called, hold on, I'm going to tell you what it's called. It's called 10 Reasons Why You Should Be Drinking Lemon Water Every Morning. Every morning. Did you get my email? Actually, Darkstar, I haven't been checking email in a couple of days. I've been busy, but this weekend I'm taking a vacation, so I'll be checking everybody's email this weekend. Okay, so starting Thursday, I will start my vacation, my little mini vacation I need, and I'll be checking everybody's email. So if I haven't checked the email by then, expect to hear from me by before then. Okay, all right, beloved. So without further ado, expect to see that video in reference to the importance of drinking lemon water. It will be uploaded this week. Probably tomorrow or Thursday at the latest. Probably, yeah, if not tomorrow, definitely be by Thursday. Okay, without further ado, I'll talk to you all next week. We'll have a Q&A next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. So Ask Dr. Akilah will start next Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to be in on it, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, and you will be notified. So I'll see you all then. Take care and have a wonderful day. Peace and blessings.